Alright folks, welcome to Cinema Kane Video, and it's time for our very first Kane's Counter, where I talk about something modern. A couple of weeks ago I saw Brian Burke and Finn Wolfhard's Hell of a Summer. The movie knows what it's trying to be. It plays with the horror genre, but it leans heavily on being a comedy set within a slasher. This movie is mid-2000s awkward Michael Cera comedy. In fact, think Michael Cera wandering into a slasher film unknowingly. That's the kind of humor you get in this movie. There are very few likable characters here. However, the movie itself is kind of presented in that way where it's like you don't know if you necessarily want some of these characters to survive. There may be two people in the entire movie that I was rooting for. The rest, I wouldn't have mind if they wandered off into the woods without a flashlight. This movie wants to be Friday the 13th with humor, I think, but comes off a little bit more meatballs with gore. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I really enjoyed Hell of a Summer. There's only one gory, super gory kill in the entire movie, and that's not a bad thing, especially if you know people that you can't get to watch most slasher movies. This movie would probably be right up their alley. On the other hand, I wouldn't have minded a little bit more gore, because while the light and shadow work is definitely straight out of the original Halloween, John Carpenter's playbook, you could even add in a little Alfred Hitchcock in there for good measure, I definitely wish there was a little bit more meat to chew on in this movie, no pun intended. I enjoyed Hell of a Summer for what it was, and think that both Brian Burke and Finn Wolfhard have got a long career ahead of them as far as being a directing duo goes. Maybe they'll eventually part ways, I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed Hell of a Summer and think that you should definitely give it a shot once it hits the video store shelves. As always, make sure your late fees are paid on time, be kind and rewind, and I'll see you next time at the video store.